Sup nerds, I'm Tom. Today we're going to talk about a really dark bidding game. So Dark Harvest is primarily a bidding game, but it's this type of bidding where you put a bunch of things in your fist, right? You hold it up like this, and everybody does that until we're all ready, and we all reveal at the same time who bid on what. The only other game that I can think of, off the top of my head at least, that does primarily this type of bidding for like the whole game is Fists of Dragonstone by Stronghold. I've seen this type of bidding in a lot of other games, like it's in the Game of Thrones, like the Game of Thrones board game does that a lot, but it's like a part of the game, not the whole game. This is like you're bidding throughout the whole game, that's it, and it's actually pretty quick. What does it say? 30 to 45 minutes? Yeah, that's pretty accurate. There's only 6 rounds, and you actually skip over one of the types of bidding in the first round, so there's ultimately like 11 different bids you do, right? But you bid for different things. So you have basically 2 currencies, which is souls and influence. Influence are like these little cylinders, and the souls are both like the money and the points of the game. You're gonna bid influence to try and win these cards out here. They're separated into 3 categories: spirit, flesh, and bone. And like we'll flip up one from each deck, and they'll all have different effects, like special abilities or things that'll happen instantly. And you bid influence on those. You also put into your hand which one you're going to bid on, right? So if I want to bid on this flesh one, which is the red one here, we're going to, I'll put that disc in there and how much I'm willing to bid, and I'll open it up. And that is influence that you're bidding. Then after that, we all need to bid souls collectively on one of these cards that flips up. Like this one here says 17 souls, but it could say 13 souls or whatever. And there's like an effect for if we all collectively do hit that number, like after we all put it in our fists and open up and we add it all up, if we are at that number or higher, it's good. If we're at that number or if we are lower than that number, then there is a fail effect. So like this one in particular says, give 6 souls to another player. That only hits the person who bids the least. So it's generally the person who causes it to fail is going to have that fail effect, right? And I know I'm kind of rambling here, as I do in pretty much all of my videos, but that's mostly what the game is. We're going to do 6 rounds of those 2 things. And you don't bid on cards for the very first round. You just do the souls thing. But a lot of these cards out here that you're bidding for, when I said they're special abilities, a lot of them will like give you souls right now, or give you more souls, or you don't have to pay as many souls later, or you don't have to pay as much influence, because actually you will get more influence back at the start of every round. But also I think it's if you give the most souls during this phase, you will get an extra influence back. And if 3 or more of these fails actually happen, then people start getting eliminated from the game. It's not just, oh, I bid the least, so I am going to get the fail effect. It's I bid the least, now I'm going to be gone from the game, straight up eliminated. Which is why the game goes down to 3 players, but it does show you what income looks like at 2 players on your little player mat here. Is because you could play a 3-player game where one person gets eliminated and the other 2 are still in the game. But also, it says 3 players. It says it goes down to 3 players. No, it doesn't. It is, don't play this at 3 players. Oh, but the box says, I don't care what the box says, don't play it at 3 players. This game is definitely the more the merrier. 4 is probably the minimum. I would say, 5 and 6 are gonna, like, it's just, you want more wackiness, you want more variance, you want more players playing off of each other. 3 is just, okay, let's get this guy out. We can both gang up and just get this guy done, and then it's just gonna be you and me, I just really don't think 3... I think this game is definitely more the merrier. I wouldn't play this again at 3 players. But mechanically, it does overall kind of work. Like, there are a lot of times when you're thinking, well, if I can convince everybody to just bid 0... and this this fail effect isn't even going to hit us right now. It's not that big of a deal. So we all bid 0, and then we'll all take the fail effect, which won't really matter for us right now. And then, we all reveal it. I bid at least 1, so guess what? We still fail, but I've bid the most. So I get to gain an extra influence back. Well, I knew you were going to do that, so I bid 2. So you actually just spent that 1 soul for no reason. But also, gaining 1 influence back for winning isn't that great sometimes. Again, if you're just playing the scorched earth effect, you just want to burn people out of the game, which you can do pretty easily in a 3-player game. Getting that 1 influence doesn't sound all that sweet to you, which is like, no, I want to burn people out of here. I want us to lose. I want to get rid of this guy. This game's going to last 3 rounds tops, or what I guess it would be 4 rounds tops. There are a lot of interesting decisions. It's overall fun. I mean, I do have some problems with it, again, like I already said about the player count, but also a lot of the cards sound semi-ambiguous. Like when I read the effects that they do, I'm kind of saying like, this could be read in like multiple ways. And also the rulebook doesn't really help. Like there's even an appendix here in the back of the rulebook to clarify some of the cards, but there's almost like too much thematics in the rulebook, and it's like thematically, using thematic language to explain things to you that again don't really clarify. There were several questions we had during the game about like, exactly how does this work, or timing, or well, if this means this, then what about that? Like, well, I have this effect, but this is saying that, so which one takes prominence or whatever, and this just didn't help. So we just had to kind of say, okay, well, I guess we'll just do it this way. Also, the theme is obviously really dark. I don't really know much about Court of the Dead. I think it was a comic book or something. Like I played Mourner's Call before this, so I had heard of Court of the Dead before this game came out. But the theme doesn't really do it for me. I don't really, I don't care about this IP. I mean, the dark doesn't offend me, but some people really don't want to play this game because of how dark it is, and that I can understand. The components for this game are also really nice. Like this little, the game trays in here are, they work. You can even probably fit sleeved cards in there. I mean, I didn't sleeve my cards, but you could probably fit them in there. And I think overall, I enjoyed this game. It's pretty positive. I'm like positive about it, but in like a 5.5 out of 10 type of positive, like I don't know. I think Fists of Dragonstone did it a little bit better. Like it was more wacky and crazy, and maybe that's kind of what you want. Because in here you're trying to play the players, not the game thing, but it's almost like too tight sometimes. And, with really low player counts, I don't really think it works. And I think the Scorched Earth problem of it is you could just have, you can just be burning people out of the game, and that doesn't feel great when we're sitting there waiting. I mean, I guess it can only happen on like, the third round. So, at least you're not getting burnt out on the first round and you have to sit there. And it's a short enough game. But, I mean, I just don't know. I felt like every time I played it, I felt like, okay, that was fine. I enjoyed it. There were some fun moments, but also, you have to make those fun moments, right? It's you play the players, not the game. And I like those types of games, but I do understand that those types of games aren't going to be for everyone. There's going to be people who just aren't going to enjoy that. And I get that, There's people who aren't going to be able to play the players, not the game. So there you have it. I liked it, but didn't love it. But we do put a purchase link to every single game that we review in the description box down below. Also in the description box down below, there is a link for Game Toppers. If you want to check out this awesome tabletop here that we film on, that we play on, and all that cool stuff, check the link in the description box down below, But while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored.